In this video I'm going to show you how to use the ink pen sketch Photoshop action. So the way the action works is you open up your photo, you fill in your subject with a color and just play the action. And here is the effect that the action creates. So as you can see what the action does, the action transforms the photo into a sketch effect done with the ink pen tool. And the results that you get are fully layered, so there is a lot of options for customizing the results. And the action is also made so that every time you run the action, you'll get unique result, even if you use the same brushed area. We always get this unique drawing variation, and you can also colorize the sketch with any color if you like. Alright, so let me just close these two windows. So after you open up your photo, before you use the action, there are just a few things you should check just to make sure that the action will run without any errors. So the first thing you should check is that your photo is the background layer. So it should be called background and have this little lock icon. And if you have something like this or anything else, just go to Layer, New, and choose a background from Layer. Then click on this menu icon right here, go to Panel Options, and make sure that this option here, the Add Copy to Occupied Layers groups, is checked. Then go to the Image mode, make sure photo is the RGB color mode 8-bit channel. And you can check the image size from here. So for the best results, you should use the images that run from 20 to 40, 45, 100 pixels wide or high. Right. Now to load the action, go to Window, Actions, click on the menu icon over here, Load Actions, and just choose the action from a folder according to a Photoshop version. You select the action file, choose Load, and the action will appear here in your Actions panel. And then just hit B on your keyboard to select the brush tool, right click anywhere inside the canvas, click on the gear icon, load brushes, and again just choose the brushes file from a folder according to a Photoshop version. So select the brushes file, choose load, and the brush will appear here in your brushes panel. Alright, so now just go to Layer, New, Layer to create a new layer and name it brush. And it's very important that you spell this exactly like this, all letters lowercase, because otherwise the action won't work. Choose OK. And all you have to do now is just pick a brush tool, pick a soft brush, you can choose any color here, color pick doesn't matter, and just simply brush your subject, just like this. And I'm just going to open up my PSD file because I have already done the brushing before. Right, here it is. So it's important that you brush over your photo while the brush layer is selected. So you have this color fill on the brush layer. And once more, you don't have to be precise at all when brushing. And the color pick doesn't matter, so just choose any color that you like and simply brush your subject as you like. Right, so now before I play the action, I'm just gonna expand the canvas a little bit. So I'm just gonna go to Image, Canvas Size, and I want to expand the canvas here on the left side. So I'm just gonna click here to choose the direction in which I want to expand the photo, and just gonna increase the width of the image for 50 pixels. Gonna choose OK. And now I got a little bit more space here on this side. So you can always expand the canvas on this way, and it's always better to have a little bit more space around the photo so the effect doesn't get cut, and you can always crop the image later if you have some sufficient empty area around your photo. Alright, so all you have to do now is just select the action here inside the folder and click play. And I'm going to fasten the video here, and I'm going to get back as soon as the action is finished, and then I'm going to go through all the layers to show you how can you customize the result that you get to get most out of the effect. Alright, so the action here just finished, so I'm just going to close the actions panel for now, and I'm going to expand a little bit this layers panel. So the first thing you probably want to do each time you run the action is just quickly close down all the folders here. So how can you do that? You just hold Ctrl and Alt buttons for PC or Command Option for Mac, and while the ink pen sketch folder is selected, just click on this arrow here, and that way you're going to close down all the folders. So I'm going to start customizing this effect from the bottom. So the first layer that we got here is the background color layer. Right, so you can just double click on this color box here and choose any other color that you like. Okay, I'm just going to keep it default. And the next one we got here is the Add Sketch Details. It says here in the brackets, brush white into mask. So what you can do is select this layer mask and pick a brush tool, right click anywhere inside the canvas, pick this soft brush, and set foreground color to white here. And now you can brush over any areas where you wish to add to reveal more the sketch details of the photo. Right. just like that. And if you wish to remove some of these details that you just add, you can just switch the foreground color to black and just brush where you wish to remove those details. Alright, so what you can also do, you can just shift click on this layer mask and you will then reveal all the details that you got here. Alright, or you can just use this layer mask to precisely reveal the details only over specific areas of your photo. Alright, and what you can also do here is you can change the opacity of this layer. So for all the layers that you customize, by changing the opacity, you can change the opacity either by clicking on the word opacity and drag it aside, or you can click on this arrow here and then just move this slider left or right. Alright, so just gonna adjust the opacity of this layer. Okay, the next one we got here is the outline sketch. Okay, and as you can see, we got this line over here. That's the line because I have expanded the canvas size. So whatever you expand the canvas, if this color is different than your photo background color, you always get that line there. So what you need to do is to just select these outline sketch layer mask, pick a brush tool, pick a soft brush, set from color to black, and simply brush or this line to remove it. And you can of course use this layer mask to remove any area of the outline sketch layer that you like. So just set foreground color to black and you can simply brush wherever you want to remove the outline sketch details. Alright, so just gonna adjust the opacity of this layer, just like that. And the next we got here is the detail sketch folder. When you open the folder, we find 4 layers here. Alright, so what you can do is you can, if you wish to remove some of these sketch details, you can simply hide the layer. If there is some specific area of the layer that you wish to remove, you select that layer, you select the layer mask, and again just brush with the black color over the areas that you wish to remove of that layer. Right? And what you can also do is if you want to add more details like this, you can just create a new layer here inside the folder. You can pick a brush tool and just choose any of these layers here, set foreground color to black, and you can simply draw more lines wherever you like. Okay, just like that. You can also change the opacities here if you like. And what you can also do is you can transform any of these layers. So you can just select the layer, you can press Ctrl Command T on your keyboard, and then you can just rotate these lines or scale them and other. Alright, so just gonna select the layer mask of this layer here, and just gonna pick the soft brush, set foreground color to black, and just gonna remove this detail here. Right, just like that. And the next one we got here is the main sketch folder. Alright, so when you open the folder, you'll find 3 layers here. And what you can do is you can adjust the opacities of these layers to create different sketch looks. Okay. Just like that. And you'll also notice that these 3 layers have the layer masks. The layer mask works so wherever you have the white color, that layer is fully visible, and wherever you have the black color, the layer is not visible in these areas. Alright, so as you can see, this layer is only visible over these white areas here that we got. Alright, now what you can do is you can find the properties panel from here, and you can just change the density of the layer mask. And you can see as you change the density here, I'm going to fade the black color here. So if I set density to 0, I'll have a fully white mask. So this layer will be fully visible on all areas. It will be like it doesn't have the layer mask at all. Alright, so with this you can just adjust how much you wish that this layer is visible outside of this white area here. right? So if I lower the density, the layer will start revealing eyesight of these areas here. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly adjust these layer masks here. So I'm gonna drop the density of this one a little bit. There are more details, and I'm gonna drop down a little bit density of this one too. Okay, and what you can also do is you can create a new layer here inside a folder. You can pick a brush tool, right click anywhere inside the canvas to open up the brushes panel, and just pick some of these 3 brushes here and set foreground color to black, and you can simply brush to add more sketch details if there is any area where you wish to have more details, right, just like that. You can then adjust the opacity of this layer further if you like. Okay, and if you wish to remove some of these sketch details, you can brush into this main folder layer mask, just like that. Okay, you can also use this layer mask here, but as I have lowered the opacity of these masks on these 2 masks here, well, if I brush with the black, I'm not going to completely remove these layers. So if there is some specific detail that you wish to remove, or for example only this sketch layer and not of all of them, when you brush into this main layer mask, you're removing all of the sketch layers. And if, for example, you wish to remove only some specific sketch area of this layer here, but you have lowered the density on the layer mask here to expand the details, what you can do, you can just go to Layer, New, and choose Group from Layers. Choose OK. So you basically add this layer into a folder, and then you add a new layer mask here for this folder that have default density to 100%, and then you can brush and remove this layer or any area that you like. Okay, and the next one we got here is the layer Reveal More Details. Right, so it's just gonna this layer is gonna reveal the details of your subject, and what you can do, you can just change the opacity here. Alright, and you also notice that this layer has a layer mask, so this layer is only visible over the brush area. Alright, and if you wish to reveal details outside of the brush area, what you can do is you can just shift click on this layer mask to disable the layer mask, and then you're going to reveal the details of the whole photo. Alright, and next what we got here is the overall brightness. Alright, so what you can do, you can double click on this layer thumbnail and make some detail adjustments to this layer, or you can just change the opacity. You'll see that you can lower the opacity to reveal more details and get less contrasted look. Alright, I'm just going to leave this layer default. And the next that we got here is the overall contrast. So how you adjust the contrast is you just change the opacity. Right, I'm just gonna put the contrast on a little bit. And the next we got is the colorize sketch layer. So what you do if you wish to colorize the sketch is you just turn on this layer, and then what you can do is double click on this color box, and you can choose any color here that you like to colorize the sketch. Alright, I'm gonna leave this example black and white, so I'm just gonna turn it off. And what we got here is the color overlay layer. So with this layer, you just have a little bit darker background, so the texture will be better visible. Alright, so the next layer that we got here is the canvas texture. You can turn it off and on, or you can adjust its opacity here. And the last layer that we got here is the overall sharpening. Now if you made any changes to the design, for example, you removed some sketch line or added some new lines, you need to create this layer again, so just delete it and press Ctrl Alt Shift and D or Command Option Shift and D on your keyboard to make a screenshot, and then press Ctrl Shift U or Command Shift U to desaturate this layer, and go to Filter, Other, High Pass, and set radius to 2 pixels. and then just change the blending mode of this layer to overlay. Right, just like that. Now you can adjust further the amount of sharpening by changing the opacity. Right, just gonna leave it 100%. And what you can do now is you can just press C on your keyboard to select the crop tool, and if you have a lot of empty area on your photo, you can just transform these crop box as you like, and just press enter and crop the image. So that's why I mentioned at the beginning, it's always better to have more of the canvas size and then just crop the image easily later if needed. Alright, so and what we got here, the last layer we got here is the brush layer. So as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, the action is made so that every time you run the action, you will get unique result, even if you use the same brushed area. So if you just delete this folder and play the action again, you're actually going to get unique result and unique sketch variation. Alright, and let's just quickly check the before and after. So this is the before, and this is the after. Alright, so I hope you understood everything, but if you still need any help or you got any questions, feel free to contact me anytime via my Envato profile page. Thanks for watching.